Hey everyone, thank you for joining me. Today we're going to make one of these. It's a pincushion and I've got crushed walnut in it. And it's kind of done in a crazy quilt style. I made it, well I trimmed it up a little small so you really can't see a whole lot of this. But you can see the focal image, which is I did a machine embroidery on this, and I just love the vintage look of these. And so we're going to try to do another one. Hopefully I learned from my mistakes, but probably not. Let's see, I did this one out in red work. It's a Sunbonnet Sue, and that is red work. I didn't say that properly. And looks like she is knitting a little scarf and a kitty and a little ball there. And it's really cute. Hopefully you can see it. Okay. So I wasn't sure how big I wanted them to be. So I kind of did it on a big enough square, you know, that I would have room to trim and cut. This one she's making a quilt. I did cut the batting to size, roughly this size, and maybe a little bit taller, because once you stuff it, it kind of rounds out a bit, so it's like his head isn't flat. And I kind of feel like I would want this a little bit taller so you can see him flatter, but that's just my preference. I pulled these out of my scrap. I don't say scrap bags because they're in like little containers, and I kind of think these would go together. I didn't overthink it, you know, I kind of wanted a vintage feel, and then I just kind of grabbed some others. So what I'm going to do, this is just a piece of batting. I'm going to try to center her. You notice I say try. I never know how this is going to turn out. And I'm going to let it hang over because it's all going to be trimmed up a teensy bit. Because I did make it a teensy bit wider just in case I need to even things up. And we're going to start with putting something in the corner. Now I used this here, and if I can remember how I did it, and I want to make sure when doing this, you want to extend past your batting piece. You want to be mindful of up and down. Nope, it's actually got to go this way. I did that one time because this is going to flip over. So I need to know where my 1/4 inch is so that I don't sew on her. So we can go up a little bit more. I want it to extend past the batting so that when I flip it up, it's going to cover it. It's almost like that foundation piecing I just did. And when I do that, it looks like it's going to go off the edge there, and it's going to go off the edge there. So I think that'll be safe, and I'm not going to run into her. So I'm just going to hold that and bring that over to my sewing machine. And I just have white thread in the bobbin as well as the top. And I'm going to start off the initial sheet, piece of fabric here. I want to make sure I start way back here because when I fold it over, that's got to be connected to the batting. And I'll probably have another piece here, but I want to be sure everything is tacked down. Otherwise, when I fold it, you know, this will be all loose, and I wanted it connected. So that was something I had to be aware of. And I'm just going to go along the edge of the foot here, and I hope that's kind of a 1/4 inch. And just do a little tack. Got to find my little foot down here. And I like to hold my strings just so that they don't bundle up underneath. I'm going to go off the batting. The batting's way back there. just to make sure that when I fold it, it's going to be okay. I'm just going to finger press it for now. I'll just cut these out of my way. You can trim it if you want to. I think I'm going to let it be for now, and we'll see whether it's going to throw me off or not. Okay, so there is her hat, and I don't want that because that's like that selvage end, so at least 1/4 inch. Now I want to make sure that this fabric here is going to be covered by this, otherwise I'll have a hole there. So I think that'll be okay. So I'm going to run it straight across. Where's the fabric here? Maybe I will trim this up a little bit so I know where to stop. And let's do a half. There. It's big enough to keep. Okay, so let's flip it back over, and we're going to be sewing. So I'll feel for it. Let me see. Did I do that right? No, I'm sewing this way, silly. Okay, that'll cover everything. It'll make sense once you start doing it. Give that 1/4 inch. I'll sew up to there, and I'm gonna start sewing back here to make sure this whole part of the batting is sewn and the fabric is stitched to it. Well, that didn't sound good. I think that's the bobbin. Okay, it's still in there. What did it do? You got a little rat nest. I heard that. Turn that back a bit. Now let's try that again. I'll hold these out to the side because I'm thinking that's what happened. I didn't hold it. Yeah, that sounds better. I'm going to where I know the batting is right here, so I'm going past the batting. Okay, let's see the reveal. There we go. Okay, so I caught the white up there, it's covered. Fingernail press. Okay, now we can cut off some of that excess. There we go. And let's just pick the next one. I always want to go next to it that way, but don't do that. So there's that. I need to go at least 1/4 inch to make sure. Now, do I want that covered too? I'm trying to figure out how I want to do this. I want to just do that. That way, all that's not covered. And again, that's the wrong way. Oh my goodness, that's how I mess things up. Okay. So that's going to be a half. Get up there. I don't want to cut off the yarn. Okay, I think that's good enough. So I'm going to start from way back here to make sure it's attached to the batting and go all the way to the end there. See, it kind of feels it's different, but you got to know, just test it out. Make sure you flip it over to test it out. Make sure you got the fabric on there the right way. Yeah. reveal. Yay! Okay, so I got the white there. So that's good. And we're gonna cut this excess off. Alright, so we've got 2 more we can do. I found out on this one, I had a big old white spot here. You can see like there's a little yellow piece. So I had to come back with another blue to cover it up. I don't want a lot of white, I just don't like it. Yes, I want. Okay, so I'm feeling for, that's the end there. I want to cover up as much white as I can. And make sure that it's going off the end here. And it's got a good inch up there. Okay. Now I realize I'm covering a lot of that. So I wonder if I can move it a little bit. Okay. I think I can live with that. I still want to see the green. I don't want to move it too much and have a whole bunch of white right there. But I think this will work. Okay. Move my threads over here so I can hold on to them. I guess there's really no need to back tack or back stitch because that part's going to be getting cut off. I think it's just mostly out of habit. Okay, ta-da! I am always surprised. Alright, and we have, I love this fabric. And iron this part of it. So we can go, want to make sure it's, ooh, don't want that. Okay, there's the end there. So I know I have to go past the end. Otherwise, when I flip it and cut it, it's not going to be covered. So I think, yep, there's the end there. And this will be covered. And that edge is right there. So that's good. Maybe go that way a little bit. And here's the batting. So I want to make sure I go off the batting so that all that is sewn. And I think that'll frame it nicely. Okay, let's try that. Get you to stay. I don't want to cut it yet. But, you know, this is a lot of extra here. Where is that? At least get some of this off. Where's that extra? Because I just don't want to keep sewing and sewing and sewing. So, move that out of the way. I'll eliminate a little bit. Because then I know just to start here. There's the end of the batting. Okay. Thread. I don't know if it moved or not. I just wanted to make sure. it really close to the kitty's tail. Okay. I can live with that. I'm happy with that. So what we're going to do next is trim off all this excess fabric. And let me get out the big cutter. So I wanted it the size of the batting to start with. And I did allow for 1/4 inch seam allowance, so I did cut the batting, you know, a little bit extra to allow for that. So don't forget. I think this, and I may have forgotten, let me measure it when I'm done. Let me see. I myself may have forgotten to do that. So what size did it come to be? Because I'm looking at my sticky note there. So, oh, okay, good. Because I was supposed to cut the batting 5 1/2. So it is somehow 6 1/2. And it's supposed to be 4 3/4. So it's about 5. So I did give myself some leeway depending on how it was going to look. So if you can picture that, it doesn't have to be this size. I didn't know what a good size pincushion would be. You also got to realize how much walnut, what do you call them? Crushed walnut shells you're using. I don't think it'll be too heavy. And so 1/4 inch is going to, you know, let's see, I wanted it 5 1/4. No, 5 5. That's 6 1/2, so I gave myself a whole lot. So it was supposed to be 4 3/4 wide. So with the 1/4, I'm just trying to see if I needed to trim it. I don't know why I did it 6 1/2. I must have gave myself a whole lot of leeway. It should be 5 1/2 because I wanted it to be 5 by 4 1/4. So I can definitely take 1/4 inch off there and 1/4 inch off there. Let's see how that'll look. Because I still will have a 1/4 inch sewing allowance. Okay, so that brings it down to 6. Weird. Okay. Well, let's just see what it looks like. Like I said, I'm basing it off of that, and I need to just move it out of the way and base it on what this one is. Because this is going to be really thin. And that's going to be like non-existent. So, what I'm going to do next is find a backing for it. You know, I'm just going to look at my scrap bag and find another backing. And I am going to fuse on some Pellin fusible web. So it just gives it a little more stability than just, you know, the cotton, because it has all that weight in there, and I didn't want it to, you know, wear out. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut a piece this size and iron it on, and then I'll be right back, okay?